Hi everybody, this is my first vlog for 2020. I hope that you all had a great time with family and friends during the Christmas and New Year holidays. It's back to work for almost everybody, except maybe the schools who are still on holiday. I think here in New Zealand they go back probably towards the end of the month. Ours was a quiet one, just the two of us, but enjoyed, and we celebrated well. We ate well. I think we overate, but anyway, even just for two people. First, I'd like to thank everybody who supported my shop, customers and browsers alike. You're both important as you come in, have a look around, and maybe when talking to friends, you tell them about my shop, and those that buy, obviously it helps support the shop and helps me buy new products or material to make new products. As I say, it's all about spreading the word, and as with doing videos or vlogs for YouTube, people subscribe, share my video with your friends. Let's get my shop out there. And if you know of anybody traveling or coming to New Zealand on holiday, maybe say to them, well, if you're on South Island, why don't you go and visit the shop there? And we're away on South Island. We're down near Invercargill in a place called Wyndham in Southland. I've done a couple of projects. The last one I did was a pouch, a smoking pouch or a smoker's pouch, but I suppose you could use it for anything. Unfortunately, I had a glitch, and I'll need to edit that and go and do a lot of narration on what I have filmed, as it seems my voice got lost somewhere along the line. I'm going to buy a decent microphone, I think, and hopefully that'll help with voicing, especially when I've got the tablet above me or at a distance away, because the voice doesn't seem to carry that well. So hopefully that will help us get a bit further on. During 2020, I'd like to try a lot more projects. I was thinking of one for every month of the year, but then January is nearly over, although I've already, as I say, done one project. But I think what I may have to do is say, let's try and do at least 6 projects during the year, minimum, and 9 as a benchmark sort of figure. Whether I do manage that, I don't know. There's quite a few items or projects that I have started I need to finish, and I don't really want to add them to new projects, although some projects, like making a new pair of shoes for myself, I'll use that as a new project that I'll film and show you how I make my own shoes. They're not the best, they're not fancy, they are very basic, but they do what they need to do: cover my feet and protect my feet when I'm outside. When I'm home, I tend to mainly walk around barefoot or with what I call my booties, which I will also show you at some stage when I do the shoe one. Other things I need to make are tote bags for the shop. I want to make some more cushion covers. I sold one of mine the other day that I made with the kiwi bird on it, the one with the multimedia, the walls on it. And that's where I want to explore is some fun projects, doing possibly wall hangings or on the totes, fun sort of little applique, and also exploring, as I say, multimedia, where you add different elements and embellishments to fabric to create either a picture or tell a story. And so I hope that you'll enjoy these. I wanted to say editorial tutorials, but I think I'd rather call them projects. How I make them is possibly not how somebody else would make them. Somebody may be thinking of doing something and take it and use it as a tutorial or to find out how to do something. But I think a better word would be projects. And if you like what you see and want to try it and put your own swing on it. I think that's what's important with anything that we find on crafting. Everybody's got their own ideas on how to do and make new things out of old things, refashion things, upcycle things. There's just so much out there that we can do. And I hope you'll join me on my journey and as we go through the different projects as we make them. My next two will be the Easter. I want to do an Easter bunny out of plastic bottles and a chicken, and both will be filled with lollies and possibly a nice big Easter egg as well, which I would like to try and sell in the shop. As I continue on this journey with the shop and making things, I know I'll need to up my game and my plans, as well as the quality of my videos. They haven't been very good, but starting out and having never done anything like this before, I'm sure as I do each one, it'll get better than the last. And as I get more experience with filming and editing each session on either the tablet or the GoPro, when I remember where I put it in a safe place when I was moving my office around, and basically it was just moving bookshelves and trying to get more table space, but yet keeping it on the table. So I've got it now in an area where it's out of the way. It's a space I don't really use on the table, and the space where it was gives me more open space within this area and not behind. I've got a very wide desk. I believe it was an architect's desk, so possibly the reason why it was very wide. And it's got a little side table. It's like an L-shaped desk. It's narrow, but that's where I'll be doing quite a few of my projects where I can sit down and do them. Some of them will be on the machine. I'll take you on the journey as I can do them all, how I start it and where I go. I'll also take you along when customers ask me to make things. They might not want to be taped or like to be taped or filmed, but what I will do is show you the process I use when I am making clothes for them or whatever it is, mending something. Last year I did the Fijian dresses for the two Fijian ladies. I've got a photograph of the one, I'll upload it. And the other lady brought me a pattern. I'm not sure if it really suits her, but the customer's happy. I suppose that's all I can hope for. And she's happy, she'll pay me, and that's fine. I'm just trying to look. I made a little note here because of what to add to this vlog. It's a bit difficult, but I wanted just to give a little bit about what I think about things and how I think about things in life. As I say, As I was saying, my shop started a little by accident, wanting to sell my own items and friends asking me to sell theirs. And it's grown, and having decent premises, although the shop does need a lot of renovation, which I'm hoping in time the shop will be able to garnish enough money out of what I have got in it, that we can afford just to fix up what needs to be fixing. And I have two places where it leaks, and the walls on the one side of the shop are in quite bad condition. I think it's the original boarding from the early 1900s. The building was built in 1903. The side where the bad wall is, it was a bakery, and I think it was the actual kitchens of the bakery originally. So it may have been upgraded when the bakery closed, which may have been about the 1920s, maybe 30s. And then it became a greengrocer shop. And many of my customers tell me when they come in, oh, I remember this place, it was a greengrocer's or it was a dairy, as it changed through the years. So these are the elderly people from the town who have lived here all their lives, and I get quite a few little insights to the history of the building. Not many people remember it as a bakery. I think all those people have died, but most remember it when it was a greengrocer's. I have one lady, she's in her 90s, and she comes in. I haven't actually seen her for a while. She's been ill. I need to go and visit her, Joy. And she was telling me she used to work here when she was a young girl in her teens and helped the lady with the children. She looked after the children while the lady that she worked for ran the shop and made food. And so that was in the time when it was a dairy. So work back, she doesn't say, she's in her 90s now, and you should be able to work out how long ago that was. Over the years it has had changes. It's been for a short period a charity shop, and that was when we first arrived here at SPCA. All the people said they were running it for the SPCA, but they hit problems when they demolished the building next door to us. The people demolishing hit the side of the building, and the council came down and said all the buildings unsafe, so they eventually moved out, and the owners at that stage had to take off the parapet, I think knocking the wall, the corner as they did. They destabilized the awning out front, which was attached to the building. That had to be removed, and the parapet had to be removed. So the roof has changed a bit up there from the way it would have linked into the roof into the parapet. They had to bring it down, and it's not quite right because we get leaks, and especially when it rains particularly hard, we have snow or hail, it just seems to get into the wrong places. Found that at the post office as well. Around the entrance to what would have been the post box area, the doorway, it leaked. And what we could work out, it only leaked when there was hail, the wind blew the wrong way, or snow on the roof. Then it would leak. So the build-up of hail or the build-up of snow, when it melted, it would get in underneath the corrugated iron sheets, and as it melted, it leaked in. And the same with the front parapet here. That's what brings in the water. It probably just, especially as I say, hail and snow, it seems to get into places where it wouldn't normally in a normal storm. It would normally go back into the guttering system, which is also not perfect, but that's another story. So yes, we need to generate some money so that I can fix the shop and fix particularly that one wall, which we have to take down in its entirety and redo. I've had a couple of ideas. I was thinking of putting plywood across it and turning it into a bit of a feature wall, finding nice bits of plywood with a bit of grain or something in them so that it looks nice. Somebody else suggested finding pallets and putting pallet wood over it, but I'll have to see. Pallet wood uses free if you can find the pallets on the most, for the most of them, should I say. Some people do sell them, but for the most part you can usually find free ones, but sometimes they're not in that good a nick either. That's why they're giving them away for free. So you've got to be careful and see how to do it. I'm not too keen, unless I can get tongue and groove timbers or timber finish. I'm not too keen on vinyl floors and things like that. You know, I could use for it, but it's also cost. I mean, I don't make a lot in the shop. As I say, if I make $50 a week, wow, that's a lot. Some weeks I make nothing. So it's this long, slow process, trying to get enough money together or save enough money that I can afford to do the renovations. I also need to buy decent shelving for my storeroom, as I've got lots of stuff in boxes, which makes it very difficult when you're looking for something and you know you've got it and you cannot find it because it's at the box right at the bottom of the pile of however many boxes is sitting on top of it. But these are the things we need to look at slowly and decide where to go for and what to do. Last year I found I lost many friends, and it's sad when you lose friends, especially to death, but also moving from one country to another and immigrating. All my friends are now scattered around the world. So I live in New Zealand, I have family in South Africa, I have family in the UK, the same with my husband, he has family in South Africa, and we have family in the UK. But I have friends, close friends that I've known for years in the UK, in Australia, and back in South Africa. And I miss them all to varying degrees, depending whether they are close friends, acquaintances, or people we used to see a lot, or not see a lot, but when we saw them, it was as if we hadn't been away from them at all. But I think that, as I say, last year was particularly difficult, and I lost quite a few friends that I had met on Facebook, and that was quite a shock as well. So not only losing friends that I knew personally in the last couple of years, it was losing people. Although Facebook friends are more acquaintances, you don't know them, other than your connection on Facebook. It's still sad to see people going, but then that is life. We all have to die at some stage. I'm not ready to yet. I have had a life-threatening experience, and it made me realize I wanted to live and that I wanted to do a lot more with my life. And I didn't know what then, but when I was in recovery after the chemo and that, I started doing a lot more crafts. I went back to crafting. I used to make chocolates, especially Easter chocolates, and sell them. I started doing more dressmaking. I made myself making presents for friends. So I started then, I think, really getting back into my sewing and making things and recycling things and finding out how to do things. I was doing candles, I was doing soap, dabbling a little bit in a little bit of everything. Since I've come to New Zealand, I've been tending to go more with the sewing, although I will be doing a project on candle making. May do some soap making for the shop. but I need to find the money and then I'll probably buy the ready-made glycerine soaps, or if not the glycerine, the olive oil or fancy soaps melt, where you do the melts and then remold them and perfume them with essential oils. But this will cost money, and as I say, the shop needs to actually be paying for these things so that it doesn't come out of our pockets. I've already spent over $1,000 stocking the shop last year, or the year before, should I say, for Christmas 2018 Christmas. I spent over $1,000 buying stuff to stock the shop so I could open the new side and the craft side. So besides just what I've made, I've also got a lot of new stuff in there to give the shop more stock and make it look a bit fuller. People won't come in if it's empty or void. And I think I've got a good mix of items. On the other side, maybe it's not what the people want because I don't make as many sales as I'd like to, but that's what comes with change. People change, people it's not what people want. And I found New Zealand is very difficult to fathom against South Africa. I knew what people in South Africa liked. Now coming to New Zealand, you've got to source what they like. And there's quite a lot of different crafts around and crafters. So it's still at the moment with me trial and error, but we'll get there. I'm sure at the end was, oh, everybody likes this, I'll make plenty of those. But the problem with that is they like it today, and tomorrow the newer generation comes along. No, we don't like that. That's old fashioned. We want something new. But we'll get there as we go along. I will add a little to this. I will add to this vlog some of this stuff that I have on my renter tables. I've got 3 of them still running, and then I'll go through a couple of the items that I've started that I need to finish, and as I say, take you along on the journey with those. I'll first get the microphone that I need, and I've seen a better tablet holder, or another tablet holder that might work better than the one I actually bought. The one I bought's on this long, I'll say cable or rod, but I've found that it's a bit awkward sometimes, and it bounces. If you bump it, it jumps up and down, ding, ding, ding. And so that's not terribly good when you're trying to do something. And I've seen feedback on my previous start to vlog number 1. It doesn't quite focus. You're in and out as it tries to focus itself. So it's not terribly ideal. The other thing is birthdays, to do little projects and make items for friends of mine, and fix things, do sewing, make projects. We'll see how we get along with that. I will, as I say, try and put in a couple of more things into this vlog, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. Highlight in this one, as I say, the renter tables and goods that we have in the shop. And I'll do an unboxing. Somebody left a box in my letterbox, and that was, I went out on when was it? Must have been Sunday, when I opened the shop, and I thought, what's this in my letterbox? I thought, the box was open. I thought, well, maybe somebody just dumped their rubbish in there, because that happens to kids. They post their lolly or sweet papers or chip papers in my letterbox. But no, the box had something in, so that I'll do a little later on. As I say, I'm going to do different segments on this. This segment's already getting a little bit long, and I'll edit it. I need to practice my editing, and I hope you'll enjoy the rest of the vlog. And I wish you all the best for 2020.
Collection of VHS tapes which a client has brought in. They are all documentaries and films, plus one by Clint Eastwood that is not a war movie. Um, $3 New Zealand each and six for the double box set. It's got two of these videos in it. They are VHS tapes and not DVDs. I will link my email address below so that if you wish to order them, I can contact you and we can make arrangements for payment and for your address for delivery. I will be able to courier post them throughout New Zealand at your cost. Bags, probably get one in a $3 bag. This is a dress I made a client with her material and she was very happy with it when she came and collected it. I also have this table with these items on it from another client. Anything you want to order, the same as the VHS tapes, email me and we can make arrangements. Plants, I can't post, sorry about that. This is scuba gear, goggles, flippers, and snorkel. Thanks.
I have put the volume up on the tablet, but I have found I seem to be a little bit soft spoken, and I tried to do a bit of a tutorial, and you couldn't hear what I was saying. It was like silent movies. I may have to even go that route and narrate, which is a bit more time consuming with doing vlogs, but we'll see how we go with this and see how things work. Easter's coming, so I've got to look at Easter items. I looked online for things to use milk bottles because I got these funny shaped milk bottles. They're a bit bumpy and all the rest. And this is my rendition of my Easter bunny. I will cut out the back piece, cover him in fabric. You'll see I've sort of drawn a bit of a thing, but make him look like he's got a basket on his back so I can put lollies in it and possibly a nice big Easter egg. And then I did see a chicken. I sort of tried to do a little cutout thing of a chicken, but I don't like him very much. It's just somebody I saw. I'm going to cut the back section a little bit larger, I think, so that I can give him a round head. Stick him together like this, give him more of a rounder head with a beak. Also cover him in fabric. And instead of doing his wings like this, I'm actually going to stick wings on the side and do maybe a nice tail. So he looks a bit more chicken-like, and the same thing, put lollies inside him and maybe a nice biggish Easter egg to sell in the shop. And some of them obviously cover the cost of the lollies and the Easter egg and a little bit extra, so I can make a little bit of money on them. And I think maybe it'll be nice, something a little bit different and recycling. So those are two projects that are going to come up very soon. We've got till April for Easter, so hopefully by then I'll have at least a dozen of each, maybe a little less. I'll probably make 6 of each to begin with, see how they sell, if they sell, and have a dozen and keep them for next year when I don't sell. It's a bit difficult. I like to make things, so I've got 1,000 things on my head I'd like to make, or in my head, ideas. Some of them would be wall hangings, art wall hangings, some with fabric, some with leather, different mediums, multimedia, mixing cottons, wools, yarns, fabrics, ribbons, lace, and just doing different wall hangings, maybe some other art projects. As I was saying, I'm trying to gear my shop more towards an craft and gift shops. So I've got to go that think about things that people may buy or may want to buy as gifts for other people, or and make it crafty gifts, things that I've made and can then resell, and somebody might like to buy it as a gift for somebody, especially with overseas visitors. We don't get many of them, but we do get a few. We get quite a few seasonal workers in the area as well. Holland brings a lot of workers over to work in the tulip factories. There are about, in our area, there are two, but there are more higher up in Gore and around the area. It seems to be a good tulip growing area. And we get other visitors from overseas traveling through, wanting to see the Catlins. A lot of them, tourists and that, they come either with the buses or they come with, I'm trying to think now, camper vans, what do you call them, camper vans or caravans and that type of thing. And they hire them and they travel around the country and they'll stop off at small towns. And because we've got a nice grocery store here, got a 4 square, and it's basically like a mini supermarket. We've got a dairy or cafe, it depends from which country you come. They sell fish and chips and burgers and hot food, tea, coffee, milkshakes, you name it. Plus they do milk, bread, tiny grocery section for emergencies, and between the dairy and the supermarket, they arrange like for public holidays like Christmas and New Year and days where everything's shut, and those are the main days, is that either one or the other open. So the 4 square or the grocery shop will open in the morning, and then the afternoon, evening, the dairy's open, or the one will be closed for the whole day and the dairy will be open. Dairy seems to take a lot more on those holidays, people wanting food or milk or bread. So they got the basics for those sort of, oh, I'm running out and it's Christmas Day, or I need plasters or whatever it is. Whereas so 4square's got a bigger selection, but they work between each other. We have the pub's closed. It's a pub come motel, pub, and a bottle store. So they supply alcohol, obviously, to the locals and people around here. Most towns seem to go for that configuration. And then you also have a town and country club, which is a members only club, which is virtually just a social club, I would say. You've got pool tables, they do meals and a pub attached. You can have functions there. The motel and pub, they also do functions. So you've got these type of places. We also have quite a nice big hall up the road from us, I think it's an RSA hall, that they rent out as well for lots of functions. It's got a beautiful stage, so you can hold plays or musical evenings, weddings. And the wedding I went to last year, they didn't use actually the main hall, they used what they call the supper room. So it's got a smaller area with a kitchen attached that you can use separately to the main hall if you want to. And in the front, they've actually got another section which I've also been to. It had the library there for a while, which is an even smaller sort of function room that the council tend, I think, to use for meetings. So it was a meeting that I'd gone to about changes to the library and hours and what to do with our museum, which at the moment has closed down. The building has been deemed unsafe for the public, and because of this they have actually closed it down and stored all their items, display items. They've been busy with this for months, and we've just found out probably in the next 3 years they're going to pull the building down, and it's right next door to me, rather close. So I have to go phone the council maybe and try and figure out something on land, because they cannot build to where they want to build, because we'll have no access to our garage where we park our cars. So we have to look at how we can come to an agreement or buy a little section of land, and it's a tiny piece. But something's got to be, we've got to come to some agreement with the council that we can either buy this land, or that the museum do not build. If they rebuild here, they do not build on this land. They've been doing fundraising and to try and they need to get a certain amount of money, and once they've reached that amount, the council or government and the council will come in with the balance. So I'm not sure how much they've got, but they still, I think, doing fundraising for that. I don't see much fundraising for something, a project such as big as this, but they're not open to suggestions. They're not interested in selling memorabilia, or not memorabilia, but maybe T-shirts or key rings or things like that, or books about, they do have a book about the history of our town. Mine kept you shaking that. But they don't seem to be interested. You know, if you go in and you're interested in buying the book, they'll sell it to you, but they're not outwardly, that I can see, really doing very much. They're relying very much on donations, and that covers money donations or product and things. And then once a year they have a big dinner and auction, or twice a year they have a dinner where you pay $100 or something for your table or your meal, and an auction afterwards to raise money. They just want big money. They're not interested in the little bits, which to me could add up and help them get more money together quicker, have cake sales and sell T-shirts. I support our museum, but they're not interested in doing that, and I'm not on their committee, so I can't suggest it. They must do what they have to do. I suppose I see things differently to the way they see it as their committee, so I can't interfere. It's the way life is. No, it's a friend's birthday coming up, and I made this pouch. It's a tobacco pouch. He's a smoker, but I unfortunately put too much glue, so the glue came through the lining. So I've got 2 days to get back to this stage so that I can sew it together. And that's another tutorial I'll be doing quickly with this, the second one. And this is where I found out that when I came to download it, to get to this stage, I downloaded it to see what it looked like, and found that I couldn't hear anything. So this is why now I'm doing this vlog quickly. It's got an area, sorry, I should maybe show it, an area for your tobacco. It's got a place for your filters, papers, and lighter. I may actually change this around as the headphones are falling off my head. The lighter is quite bulky. I may put that in the middle and papers and filters either side, or just do 2 pockets in the new one that I'm doing, and be a little bit less exuberant with the glue as it does come through and mark the fabric. To sew the sides together, I'm using kangaroo lacing or thonging. It's purported to be a stronger one, a very strong skin, and I will be using a slightly darker brown leather. It should be alright. I could order online, but it will never get here on time, so having had a week to make this pouch and having made a mistake, or not a mistake, just put too much glue that came through. During the year, I've got some wine bags, brown paper bags, single bottle wine bags and double bottle wine bags that I'm going to be embellishing, sticking lace on and maybe ribbon, and make some happy birthday, Merry Christmas, whatever it is. Also for sale in the shop. I managed to buy bulk loads of the bags. Got nice string handles. That'll be another tutorial showing you how to embellish brown paper bags for, well, I'm doing it for resale because I'm running the shop, but other people for gifts, for alternate packaging for gifts. It's that's where I'm really going to be pushing this year, looking at different ideas, and it's where the plastic bottles come in, making things that you can put things into and give as gifts. I'll be looking at boxes, keeping nice boxes, and covering them either with paper or fabric, and just making them that it's a reusable box that you can use multiple times, and for gifts. So you can give somebody in the family a gift and keep the box for somebody else in the family or whatever it is, or give the same person. With children, you could maybe have each year gets on their birthday a box, I mean, depending on the size of the gift, with their name on it, and you reuse it every year. And especially, I think, under the Christmas tree, it'd be nice. You could, oh, I know that's my present, and it make a new tradition in your family. Too much rubbish, I know, is going into landfill, and trying to do my little bit to hopefully stop it happening. I know I'm not perfect. I do tend to throw away stuff, but I also do tend to try and see if I can make use of stuff as well. And my stock room is jam-packed, not only fabric and that, it's got all little odds and ends that I keep, or the jars, I mean glass jars with lids. I buy products in them, I clean them, and I put them in the shop for sale, especially now summer's coming and everybody's got their gardens going, the fruit trees are going, people need jars for pickling and jams and jellies and things. And that's something that I like doing as well, as making a few jams if I've got fruit. I reuse even up to my bread bags for refreezing stuff. I empty the crumbs out when we finish them, and I'll use them to put my meat in, or other vegetables that I've blanched in. Growing cucumbers and gherkins. I did gherkins one year and bottled all the gherkins. I think I've just finished the last of those. Oh, and jams. I'm yawning, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning. Oh well, we'll get there. As I say, I'll be making quite a few things during the year. I've mentioned, I think, a few last year of projects that I do have in hand and things I need to finish, which I still didn't finish before Christmas. But I think I need to just work out, well, I've written down everything I need to do and just slowly work my way through them. I do have good days, I do have not so good days where I really just can't find the motivation, I suppose it is, to do things. I want to do it, but also I've got gamey knees and standing, walking, especially long distances, I can't. And some days the pain is quite bad, and those are my bad days. So I can't get motivated to stand up and move between standing, sitting, and doing things. I just find it a bit difficult, especially when I'm in a lot of pain. You might say, well, take pain tablets. Well, when you go up to 10 pain tablets a day, sorry, I'm managing it without any tablets, and anti-inflammatories as well I found don't really help anymore. I'm still in pain. Pain tablets, I'm still in pain. So I try and manage it. If I know I'm going to walk far or shopping with my husband, we go grocery shopping, or I'm going thrifting with my friend, I will take an anti-inflammatory or possibly just a pain tablet before I go and when I come back. So just to ease, because I know that I'm going to be sore the next day. So I try and ease the pain a bit that way. But that's my story. I mean, probably not interested in my aches and pains. But if you don't see as much made as I'd like to make, probably last year I found I didn't do as much as I wanted. And it's possibly also getting older. I find I'm not running around as much as I did. It's just quite difficult to garner the energy to do things. And so some days I'll do quite a lot of work, and maybe the next day I'll take it a little bit easier and not do as much. So yeah, it's one day at a time. Live in the present, one day at a time. I can't really plan tomorrow too far ahead, because the next day may bring something totally different my way. Plus, with the shop being open, I have customers coming in, so I'll be working on something. I need to get up and go and help the customers, come back, carry on with the project. So some projects you'll think, oh, I can do that in a day. If you have 3 or 4 interruptions during the day, it might take you 2 days. And my shop is open from Wednesdays through to Sundays for summer. I open from 11 a.m. normally until 5 p.m. Although yesterday I think I closed at 6. Sometimes I get involved doing something and forget to bring the sign in, put the close sign and close the door. But that's the way it goes. We don't have problems here with, might have a bit of petty theft in the shop, and that's mainly kids. And they'll come in a group of 5 or whatever it is, and then you're going to have eyes all over the place. But other than that, on the whole, we don't really have theft in the town, or a lot of that I've really noticed, other than homes. The thieves will rather go into somebody's home and rob that than I think the shops and that, and I've got nothing really of value. I don't keep electronics in my shop, or any sort of that type of equipment, second hand. And I don't buy that stuff. People say, oh, do you take this stuff or that stuff? I don't, because of, I don't want to be caught taking in stolen goods, and electronics is where one could get caught out. So I don't do it. And also you've got to take certain licenses out, and so it becomes complicated and more expensive. And I'm trying to avoid extra expense in the shop, other than what I need at this stage. I need to start making money, but I've still got a lot of stock of that stock left, and I need to deplete that stock a bit before I go for another big spending spree. Or I need to start actually using what I've got, which I've got a room full of fabric as a stock room, and start doing more projects and getting them out. And this is what I'm going to try and do this year, turn it into my project year, and a little bit of thrifting, see if we can find stuff at charity shops, or op shops as they're called in some areas. We've got a Salvation Army, we've got hospice, we've got St. John's, we've got the Orphans Care, we've got local in, well, Gore, which is our closer town, which is about 60, 70 kilometers away. in that direction, and in that direction we've got Invercargill, which is a little bit further away. It's about 45, 50 k's away. So, and they've got obviously more shops. So St. John's Ambulance and the orphan care is in Invercargill. There's also the garage shop at the which is Habitat, and there's actually two Habitat shops, the garage one and a Habitat uses the name. It's up in Glengarry, and you can buy items there as well. So Evercar's got more per se than Gore, but it's good to sort of keep an eye on all. But I don't go every week or every month. It's something I do when I need to go